ramifications of a possible attack against Iran nuclear facilities are a subject of a great concerns to many. However, and I emphasize, almost nobody, relates to the alternative risk. And the alternative risk is a nuclear Iran. And a nuclear Iran, which you won't hear in the media scenarios, what will be at the day when Iran will hold a nuclear weapon. A nuclear Iran would give immunity to terrorist organizations, and there is no guarantee that nuclear weapons will not find their way into terrorist hands. This is a nightmare scenario which is too terrifying to even consider. There are those who contend that the Iranian regime is rational. Maybe you'll hear it later. Well, if it is rational to shoot protesters, to stone women, and to hang thieves or homosexuals, the Iranians may also consider it rational to erase Zionism by means of an atom bomb. We must stop this in every way we can. Prime Minister Netanyahu helped the world understand, and sometimes he is being criticized, but no one can tell you that he heard Prime Minister Netanyahu saying that Israel will attack Iran, or when Israel will attack Iran. He is talking on the threat to the entire world, and he helped the world understand that the Iranian threat is a global threat requiring the joint effort of the entire free world. And even President Obama, as mentioned before, declared, and I quote, "When it comes to preventing Iran from obtaining a nuclear weapon, I will take no options off the table, and I mean what I say." And of course, we are heartened by this statement and welcome it. And the US and the EU have used their diplomatic capabilities to apply more stringent economic sanctions against Iran. However, these are not enough and must be further strengthened, since the Iranian regime is continuing its stubborn path towards a nuclear bomb. And the only way, as we know, to stop Iran is to make them truly understand and believe that the military option is indeed on the table, and we are not only talking about it. The US and Israel maintain full cooperation. The United States, has no closer ally than Israel, and Israel has no closer ally than the United States. We stand together, shoulder to shoulder, against a nuclear Iran and against terrorism. Ours is an alliance that cannot be broken, not only because it is based on common interest, but first and foremost because it is an alliance based on common values, and even if sometimes between good friends, close friends, like you have between even a husband and a wife, there are some disagreement, but it's not going to damage our relationship. We truly appreciate the great alliance between the states. But when it comes to the security of Israel, we must always be masters of our own destiny. As we celebrate our Independence Day, we must not forget that our independence to provide our citizens with security is our foremost responsibility. We must not forget that one of the strongest alliances in today's Middle East is between Assad's reign of terror and the reign of darkness of the Ayatollah in Iran. The Iranian regime supports Hezbollah in Lebanon and Hamas in Gaza and aids terrorist activities against American forces in Iraq and Afghanistan. This is the self-same regime that is trying to achieve nuclear weapons capability. And dear friends, our time is running out, and it may well be that history itself is now being determined. Together, we face one of the most threatening dangers to humankind, a fundamentalist Islamic regime with a nuclear weapon.
I want to say one thing about Iran. Yes, it is the responsibility, the ultimate responsibility of the international community. So is Syria. So was Libya. So is Darfur. So is South Sudan. So was Bosnia. Did they do well? Did they fare well, the international community, on these issues? So, as much as we expect, and we are part of this international community, as much as we expect them to do, and I think they should and will do what they need to do, we also have to think of other options. And last thing I want to say is when we talk about the talks started in Istanbul, next May, maybe in Baghdad, when we talk about concessions, no, maybe the Iranians should, not enrich until 20%, maybe until 5%, maybe until 3.5%. There is no half pregnancy. They should not enrich even 1% because, not only because it will be much more difficult to monitor their operation, but because by achieving 3.5%, this is 70% of the efforts. Once you have 33.5%, you have achieved 70% of the efforts and the work all the way until nuclear capability. This is why this is very important. So it's important for them to stop the enrichment, to stop building the centrifuges, on the one hand. Secondly, the removal of all the fissile material. And thirdly, a very robust and continuous monitoring mechanism. Thank you very much, and enjoy the rest of the show.